Alrighty, guys. What is going on, my favorite people? What's up, culture comrades? Got a great show for you today with definitely one of my favorite people in the YouTube verse. Good friend, Dave Pena. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. I just want to make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We did just open up our Patreon program. I got that from Dave. So we just opened it up. It's a good program. You get early access to podcasts, pre-recorded content, discounted merch, all those goodies. We also got Big Drip here. What's going on, Big Drip?
What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining us. Dave, thank you for being here. Good evening to you.
Yeah. We had a long day today. We're at Showcase shooting some commercials for our live show for Godzilla.
Oh, nice.
It was really fun, actually. It was really fun. Good time. But so we had a Vanity Fair article a couple days ago now?
Yep.
And that came out. I watched your little stream afterwards and saw how you felt about it. I thought overall it was overwhelmingly positive, I suppose. But is that still the feeling that you're getting?
Oh yeah, I think I mean no matter what, like you read that thing, it was well written. I mean, obviously, the only gripes you have is okay, one little mention of AFSP when it comes to the fandom. Maybe there should have been maybe more of a dedicated paragraph, but it did mention a lot of the stuff, and it's not really a big gripe or anything like that. But overall, yeah, I was satisfied. But
I liked how they ended it.
It was a good sign off from that.
The way they ended it was just really touching.
There you go. Your audio is better.
Yeah, with this Mac, I've just been it doesn't save my settings, and then I realize it afterwards, and it's been driving me up a wall.
I know. For a minute there, I was like, "Why is there's feedback? He sounds like he's in the other he sounds like a TV in the other room on right."
Yeah, I thought I was hearing things. So I'm glad.
No. No, because the Apple, because I'm signed in on all on my laptop and everything. That's the main computer that I was using for a while. Whenever I sign into StreamYard on the Mac, it always makes me get a code from my email. So then I have to log in. It's basically logging in for the first time. And then I have to redo all the settings. And I thought I did it, but it switched back when I did something or something. I don't know. I'm always having technical issues. It's the brunt of my life. So.
We all have them, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when was it? My Sunday stream? I didn't even have my microphone plugged in. I totally freaking spaced. I went live and I'm like, oh shit, my microphone's over there. I was I had everything set up except for I forgot to put the microphone on the thing. And I love the fact that I got Big Drip underneath me.
Oh, I didn't even change that. Jesus.
That's right. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Drizzle, it looks like we could be in the same room.
Yeah, there you go. It's true.
No, your room looks like Arkham Asylum.
Your walls are white as well.
No, they're like a wood white. Yours are asylum white.
But, somebody put on their fancy pants.
Yeah. But so we also got what was it called? So the Spiderman title came out.
Yep.
I didn't even notice that it dropped. I got 4 different fake titles that were absolutely ridiculous. Phone Home, Home Slice. What was the other one? Homewrecker.
Which is my favorite, I thought.
So it's going to be officially called No Way Home, which I
It's so
actually
much better.
I'm digging it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, we knew it was going to be something. I mean,
Home.
I made the joke that I was like, just call it Spider-Man No Homo, or something like that.
Oh my God.
But of course that just gets you canceled right there. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke, of course.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man.
But no. See, this is what I do. I'm gonna end up getting you guys canceled. I get canceled every night. Don't worry now.
Dave, I'll never forgive you. I'll be so mad at you.
No, but
So what's up?
It's fine. It's perfectly fine. I know there was like a whiteboard that had a bunch of different stuff on it, and there was like home worlds and home run and all that. I mean, of course they like went through a bunch of different names, and they had to incorporate home in there somewhere. So
yeah, but it's been an interesting week. The Snyder fandom has been really, I don't know. So like I was telling, and like we had like asked on the other day, and I was telling them that like sometimes I wake up and just you go on the timeline and you see some of these negative people. It's upsetting some days, because I just see how much discourse there is still when this should be a time of like celebration. Yeah. And I've said that to you on the vodka stream a couple of times too. Is I just feel like this should be like the victory lap, and it's more of the like we're still just more of the same and more negativity. Like I get it, right? The whole the Green Lantern stuff and the cameos and everything like that. But it's just a good time to be a DC fan. I don't know. Obviously, I can't remember if I was on the vodka stream when we already knew. Did we already know about Sasha when I was on last?
No, because were you on last Friday?
I was. I can't remember if so did we know? I know, right?
I know. Trust me, some of those vodka streams can get a little, hazy. A little foggy,
so. You beat me to it. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, it can get a little foggy, and I'm like, and it's funny too because every time, like the next day, I always like try to thank the guest and then thank the people that showed up on the panel, and I'll be sitting there sometimes going, all right. How many people? I mean, okay, we had Scott, we had Steven, we had Garza, oh my God, there's somebody else. And there's been times, and I felt sorry. I mean, I forgot Matt from Comic Movie Marks, where I forgot to tag him. And then, of course, he sent a GIF, I think, of Millhouse, like playing with himself, like, not with himself, but by himself, on the playground. And I was like, oh, shit, I knew I forgot somebody. So I always have to, like, sit there and think and kind of, maybe even go back and be like, who was all there? Oh yeah. Okay. We're good.
But yeah. So what do you, I mean, there's been a little bit of not controversy. I wouldn't call it controversy, but speculation that maybe the Flash movie is moving forward and kind of leaving the Snyderverse behind. What's your thoughts on the casting of Sasha and where this could take DC in general?
I mean, we always got to remember that it is going to be a multiverse thing,
right?
So, I mean, there's still going to be Ben Affleck's Batman in there, supposedly. I mean, as much as we don't have a ton of information about that, it was just kind of like that Thursday before fandom. They were like, "Hey, Ben Affleck's going to be in this. Look at that," and that was it. And I guess people know about it, and apparently it's going to be a thing. But there's been no mention, of course, from Affleck himself. But of course, he's not really vocal when it comes to social media. I don't think he really has been, has he? Nah, he never really has. I mean, he showed his support for Snyder Cut, a couple of times. That's about it. And then, of course, he posts other things too, but he's not like active. I mean, I think he on Instagram he was kind of he was a little active on there, but yeah,
just a slight.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But yeah. But when it comes to that, we just got to remember that it is a multiverse thing, and it's still building on the foundation of the Snyderverse because they're still going to be using Ezra, and even though there's going to be other characters, I mean, they're going to be coming from different Earths, I guess you could say. So it's not it's slightly stepping away, but it's also expanding. The tree that Snyder planted,
Snyder built, yeah,
it's just essentially just expanding on it. So.
I'm definitely interested to see like if they'll take the actual source material route and like have it be his cousin, have it be like his blood almost, right? Because she's still house. Yeah, she's an L, right? Kara. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
so she
sure.
is.
Yeah.
And like if you put the pictures of them up next to each other, I mean, it's not like so far off that they couldn't be cousins. I think they actually look more similar than Melissa Benoist and Tyler Hoechlin.
Whatever.
How do you pronounce that guy's last name?
I always say Hoechlin. I don't know.
Hecklin.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Saw the picture of him in his 1938 outfit. It was pretty corny.
It works for. I just actually posted my review before I jumped on here.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it earlier, I just got finished like an hour ago. I mean, it's not. It's quick. It's quick. It's a nice little callback. I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was actually kind of cool. I was like, oh yeah, there's the Max Fleischer. I always say his last name wrong. There's a little throwback for him because I used to watch those, the old Superman cartoons where it had that, they had that costume, and so it was a nice little throwback. But it's quick. There's like obviously they're gonna do a montage to like show you the story of Superman to get to present day, and that's what they kind of do. So then when it's present day, he's got the new costume, and that's pretty much it. So it was a cool throwback.
Oh, that's awesome. I see. I didn't. I kind of like lost my spark for the Arrowverse a little bit before Crisis, but like then I went back and watched Crisis because I had watched for so long. To not watch Crisis was a sin.
Yeah.
So and then
I didn't even watch it.
You didn't?
No, I didn't watch it. I fell off the Arrowverse like after like Arrow season 4 and Flash season 3. And I don't know, I just fell off. And then when it came to Crisis, I was like, yeah, I should watch it, but I just didn't because I felt like I would have been, I don't know, there's so many characters, I don't even know who's who now, what the hell. So I didn't watch it. Maybe one of these days I'll catch up on it, but I didn't watch it.
But in the Vanity Fair article, it mentioned a Heroes cameo at the end, and a lot of people online not trying to figure it out, but like, having fun, maybe guessing at who it could possibly be. Do you have any like guesses or ideas of who it could be?
I don't know. Probably just something that has to do with green. Take it with what you will. Somebody who's either wearing a green costume or has green skin. I don't know.
See, that's what I said. I said, probably Martian Manhunter, but then again, I don't know, because I thought we were supposed to get him with the Martha and Lois thing. Yeah. But I don't know if that's just like a call to the audience, maybe.
I feel like it's going to be similar to what WandaVision's going to be with them having Doctor Strange as well as somebody else. So I think it's kind of the same thing on the DC side of it with Martian Manhunter. We know we'll see him, but possibly somebody else included on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the way I was thinking is like, okay, that article, we got to remember that Vanity Fair did a set visit for the additional photography, and that was back in what, like end of October, November, whatever the heck that was. I think it was November, right?
Yeah.
So that's where those quotes came from. So not much information. I mean, there was still the information that Martian Manhunter was in the movie, but I mean, that's mainly for Snyder fans. Snyder fans already knew that. Did the general audience know that? No, but so we got to take in account that this was like 4 months ago, I guess you could say, that those quotes came from. But then at the same time, it just could be Snyder going, yeah, but I also shot something else, that nobody knows about, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. And it could be, hey, fuck, it could be Black Canary for all we know. I mean, Journey Smollett was pretty excited when images were coming out, so I was like, interesting.
It's nice to see her getting involved, or like at least like interacting in a way. Because I didn't. She was probably one of my favorite parts of Birds of Prey. Just as far as like a film goes, I really enjoyed her in the movie and the way she went about the character. Because the Arrowverse, it was a little bit more. I don't know. It wasn't the Black Canary that I like, right?
Yeah.
So, and then she like the girl who played Laura Lance in the Arrowverse, she never sat well with me. So I really liked it when it came to Birds of Prey. You had good old Fabian on the other day.
Yeah, I did.
Was that a fun experience?
Oh yeah, it was interesting. Like, I mean, it was pre-recorded, so but he was. I mean, it was something that was kind of in the works for a couple of months because I remember I hit him up at like I think the end of November, beginning of December, and then we were thinking about planning it, and then he just kind of had a busy month, and then he said he had a busy January, so. And then finally, I just hit him up, and then finally got him. And we just coordinated it. He's like 8 hours ahead, and we did it on a Thursday morning. And I'm a person that just enjoys their craft. So I had a drink with him at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
On a Thursday morning, it was like 11, 12 o'clock, and I'm like, hey, if you're drinking, I'm gonna drink too. I mean, that same thing happened with Connie Nielsen too, where it's like, hey, if you're gonna drink, I'm gonna drink. Yeah, it's part of the program. So
yeah, fuck yeah.
And, you're a trooper, Dave. You're a trooper.
Hey, that's what you got to do. But
that's right.
He was. I mean, he's not as engaging as some other guests and stuff like that. He's a fairly quiet dude. So, but overall, it was nice. Talking to him and getting his input on everything, and then it just at the end of the interview was pretty funny that one of his chickens ended up making a cameo at the end there. That was pretty funny. I thought he had a dog barking. It was a chicken.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What a twist. You're like,
you pulled the M. Night Shyamalan.
What a beast. Yeah.
I love it.
So I think it's been. When was the last time? So we had you on in November. For
was that the last time?
Yeah. It's just we went over to his show a couple times after that, but I don't think we ever asked. And I've kind of wanted to know since then. But how did Film Junkee start? Like, how did you start doing this?
Well, I mean, the name came about like a long, long time ago when I was just like I needed an email, and I was like, well, I love movies, I love films, I'm a junkie. Okay, so and I still have that email too. I still have my film junkie email. Nice. And then when I decided to start my YouTube, because I was working with a friend. We were trying to start like a little production thing. He did like web designing, and then I did video stuff for him. For like when somebody needed some video on their website, I was like, all right, and I would just do something. And we also did like wedding videos and stuff like that. And then, but he was always telling me like I should start YouTube. And anytime we were like working together, he'd always put on Philip DeFranco.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like watching, and I'm like starting to become a fan of Philip DeFranco because I was liking like the fact that it was just like, oh yeah, you just keep jump cutting, everything just kind of goes. I'm like, I could do that. Let me just do that with movie stuff, just straight up movie stuff. So when I started, I mean, it was back in bless you or cough or whatever.
Cough you.
Yeah.
Got the COVID.
Got that COVID going on. No, but so I started, and I mean, it was just like I didn't even have an HD camera. I had like a shitty digital camera. I propped it up with some books. Had my fucking closet as a background. I mean, it was horrible. Like those first few episodes were pretty bad. And then it just, when I came up with the name, it was like, with my email, it's IE at the end, just Film Junkee, my main email. And but then I was like, well, let me put EE at the end because that'll make it stand out, I guess, a little bit, because it's 2 E's, Film Junkee. Don't put a Y or don't put an IE, just put 2 E's at the end. And then just kind of started from there. And then it just, I didn't really take it too. I mean, I took it seriously. I did like a show a week. And then I tried to do other stuff too when it came to green screen. I learned how to do the green screen stuff. But I was also doing, I was working for not working, it was more volunteering, but I was running a YouTube channel for an Android website, like Android, like Google phones and shit like that. They hit me up because they saw my stuff. They're like, hey, we want you to do something like that, but over on our channel. So I was like, cool. So I went over there and I created something called the Mandroid Show. And that was fun. It was kind of cool. It was just like a weekly show, but then I did other things during the week as well.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, you could look it up. There's still all those videos are out there. I did that for a while. And I try to make it. I was like, all right, it's called the Mandroid Show, so I'll talk about stuff, I'll make jokes, and then at the end, I'll have the hot nerdy girl of the week. Let's make it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I would find
Okay.
who's a hot nerdy girl right now, and I would do a little montage of like maybe a photo shoot that she did or something like that. So
that's funny you say that, because when you said the name of the show, I had a feeling that was the kind of vibe you were going for, kind of like a bro.
You had the man show,
right?
You had the man show. Yeah. I couldn't find any, I wasn't going to have girls jumping on trampolines like they did. But so I was like,
the budget for it.
Yeah. I just do the hot nerdy girl of the week. So I used to do that. And then that just kind of fell off. And then I went back to my channel. And this was like right when BVS got announced. And basically when BVS got announced, and then when it started like kicking in the gear, that's when I started really like, I'm going to cover this movie like crazy, because I was just super excited for it. So I just was, that's when I really started hitting the videos, like anything that came out like BBS. And then of course I was trying to do other things too, but that was probably around 2013, 14 when that was really like kicking into gear. And then and then it's morphed into what it is now.
Well, so we brought on, in that same month that we brought you on for the Snyder thing, the Snyder Cut expose, we had someone that we had met.
Jesus. Somebody's revving their engine out there. Sorry.
I hate people like that.
They gotta have the biggest thing in between their legs. They gotta show you that. We had met a Snyder fan as well, and we hit it off with them. And that's what I like about this community, is because like we brought him in as a producer, and he like loves you, he's always watching your show, and so we just wanted to invite him in, and so he could say hello.
No problem.
And welcome, Jack.
Hey, first things first.
I had no idea that's where you were going with that.
Yeah, get the other thing off there. Yeah, there we go.
Is the beeping gone?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I did a test earlier. Dave, a big pleasure to meet you. I got to tell a funny story. We're big fans of Jody's Corner, and I watched one of Jody's rants, and then I saw your reaction to his video from 6 months ago. I just died laughing, because you're looking at it really serious, where he's like, I believe Joss Whedon. And I was like, wow, Dave's really intense. And then you just start laughing. It killed me.
Yeah, no, yeah, I still have that. I will always have that drop in my my library of drops.
When you hit me with the drop the other night before we closed out, I was pissing my pants laughing.
Oh yeah, that always gets a good laugh. I have a perfect spot for it, because he looks so sincere, and he's just like there's like silence, and then he goes, I believe Joss Whedon, and it's just like, oh my god. Especially after what's happened now, it's just it's
pretty wild.
Funnier, yeah,
it's pretty wild. I'll be honest with you, like, I want to ask him some questions. I know he won't answer. But I reached out to him and I said, hey, like, I just want to talk to you, like, and ask you some questions. And it said he's read it, but he's never going to answer. So it's whatever, he's too cool. He's Jody, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So Jack, we've been talking about how Film Junkee started, the Snyder Cut, the Vanity Fair article.
Yeah.
So we got the Spider-Man title. What else is there this week?
The Spider-Man title. I did want to mention, Dave, you said you saw the new Superman and Lois show.
Yeah, I just watched it.
I was pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did. I was like, I'll give it a shot, and I really kind of enjoyed it. I liked Tyler as Superman. I wasn't really that crazy about him in the Supergirl show, but I was like, he was a good kid actor. He was in Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks, and we just never saw him again. He really kind of nailed, I guess, when people say they like the older Superman, the Chris Reeve Superman, the nerdy hunched kind of Clark Kent, and then when he's Superman, I enjoyed it. I'm actually kind of looking forward to what they do. Usually,
like I was telling them, I posted my review before this, and I have little issues with it, but it wasn't anything.
Yeah, of course.
It was a good pilot where it's getting me to watch the second episode. Like, I'm curious to see where it goes, and because they do a little cliffhanger ending, which we won't mention. We don't want to spoil it, but I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I'm kind of curious to see this whole dynamic, with their kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he's warming up to me a little bit now that I've actually watched him in an episode, like a full episode. The Lois character, though, I'm still kind of like, I'm not really, I'm not really feeling her still yet, but hopefully I will, But
she's like, because again, I watched the Arrowverse, and she's one of the parts that when she was in one of the crossovers, I don't know what it is about her. I
there is something, and it's just not quite there yet.
Yeah, my ex now, but my girlfriend at the time, she was like, "What's wrong with her forehead?" And I was like,
"Oh my god, you noticed it too?" I felt so bad for noticing it. I was like, "Stop it!
I was like, "You can't say that. It's 2021."
So within the show, like she is the actress herself. I think is over 40. I think she's 40, 41. And Tyler Hoechlin, I think, is 33. And they address it in the show that, wow, Clark, you don't age at all. The idea being that because he's Kryptonian, he doesn't age like everyone else because other characters that he knew from Smallville have age. So I think it was intentional. They cast someone who's slightly older.
Which I was glad they did that because I was even talking about that with somebody. We were messaging, and she was even saying, she was like, yeah, he doesn't look like he would have kids that are 14. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I mean, he is Kryptonian. And then sure enough, they made that little crack in there. So I was like, there you go. They address it. So that's good at least.
So, yeah, now I remembered something. So, because someone put it in the comments, but the Blue Beetle thing. So I'm not a huge Blue Beetle fan, and I never was. I kind of know who the character is from context, like just by being a superhero fan, but I'm not a huge. I don't know the lore. I don't really know too much about him. Is this something you're excited about, Dave?
I mean, yeah, just because it's such a outlandish character, not a lot of people know about it. I wasn't huge on him either. I mean, I know the origin a little bit, and then I was collecting when Rebirth came out. I was collecting the comic books, which had the character Jaime Reyes as the main. But of course, there was two Blue Beetle guys before him, and I'm kind of curious if they actually dive into the mythology of that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's just it's time for a
shake up
for us, because when it comes to the way everything is now, it's like, hey, it's time for some Latino characters get out there. I mean, I'm half Mexican. Yeah. I'm like, come on, let's show some love for my brown side here, man. Come on.
Aw, that's
yeah.
That's the thing. It's not that I didn't want to read it. It's just he really is an obscure character. Not an obscure, maybe that's not the right word, but
he's not as mainstream.
Yeah,
he's not. Yeah, and I mean, there was and there's been times where the characters teamed up with Booster Gold, which essentially Booster Gold is almost in a way like a Deadpool-esque, DC character because he's almost a parody of himself, in the way that that his character is with time travel and stuff like that. But there has been team ups with those two, and I remember there was a rumor that there was a series with both of them that was going to be in development. I guess that's not happening now, but I don't know. But yeah, it should be interesting, and I don't know. We'll see who they cast. Seems like
I know he was. I know he was part of the Titans at one point. That's where I'm familiar with him from. So this is our introduction into them. Maybe we get going in the future. They do something Titan related. Maybe starting with the lesser knowns and then working up to your Nightwings and Starfires.
Yeah.
Well, not Nightwing. If they're gonna go, well, I guess the multiverse. Yeah. So nothing's impossible at this point.
Or Snyder's Nightwing might be someone else.
Yeah.
I mean,
if they do the Snyderverse,
well, Snyder doesn't really have a Nightwing because his Dick Grayson is dead. So.
Exactly. So I'm saying it could be that he might just say. Tim Drake is now the Nightwing, the second Robin.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Or even some people have suggested that was it Carrie Kelly might be the girl in the.
Why
not do it?
That will be. I guarantee you that if there is another Robin character in the Snyderverse, it'll just jump to Carrie Kelly. It'll skip over everybody else.
You think so?
He's expressed that because he loves The Dark Knight Returns so much.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then he's expressed that it was eventually going to lead to Carrie Kelly, and who knows, we might see a little hint of that in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think I think there might be a good chance we will, to be honest.
Yeah. The thing I was telling actually was Garza because we've been doing We did the BVS. You know what? I was actually pretty happy. Garza fart face showed up in our comments the other day, and it made me. What is film? Oh yeah, on this one I didn't put the L. See, I rushed on this one. See, Jack, for you, I did this really quick.
I'm Junkee.
Yeah, see how I rushed on it.
It's okay. There was one time where when the background thumbnail said vodka steam, not stream.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it the whole time.
So this one right here, the one that this is the 4-panel one. I had to make this like 5 minutes before, and it's harder to make these because you have to like go into Photoshop. You have to go into it's way harder than it looks, and I spent like $50 on the software just to do it last night. Yeah, so I made a bunch of them last night.
I don't even bother. I just go, hey, whatever StreamYard has, they have the
yeah
there. Go ahead. I don't need to do anything else. Maybe eventually I will, but right now.
This one was like the one I made last night, and at the bottom you could see it's spelled correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, my fault. But what was I saying? I can't remember. Garza,
there you go.
Garza fart face showed up the other day. It was like a badge of honor. I was I was happy about that. But that I was telling Garza during our BVS watch was that for Jack and I, at least, I don't know, probably not justice, but Zack's films, they're more than like just movies for his fans, like for all of us. They're a little bit more than just a casual movie going experience. It's you get lost in his movies and his story and the detail he pays attention to, and I don't know, he's like just as much of a fan of these characters as we are. So like I like his films because they speak to me on a different level, right? BVS Ultimate Edition, even the BVS theatrical, I needed that movie more than I thought I did at the time, right? And that's what I like about Snyder's films, and that's why I pay so much attention and did what I could at least for the movement.
Yeah.
And I mean, how is it almost surreal like that the 18th is actually coming?
Yes,
because I still feel like it's
very much surreal because even I was just thinking about, because today some people were talking about how there's going to be some press screenings and stuff like that, and I was going, holy shit, we're already here, and like people are already going to be seeing this thing probably end of next week, maybe. I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but just the fact that people are going to be seeing this already coming up, and then we're going to see it in the next couple of few weeks, and it's just like it is very surreal. And I can still remember first off walking out of that Warner Brothers press screening that I went to, and then kind of just fluffing up a little bit when I gave my first reaction, because I didn't want to like disappoint anybody, and just kind of feeling like shit for the rest of the night. I even drove over to the world premiere, and I was standing there and watching them all go in, and didn't see Snyder, and I was like, yep, I can see why. I'm feeling like, just like what the, because of how they jacked the movie. And then of course seeing Kal-el walk in, I'm like, does this guy know that his face is fucked up at the beginning? Does he know that he's going to be sitting there and it opens up with his pretty face all jacked up? And I'm like, I don't think he does.
What do you think his thoughts were? Like,
oh my
when
God.
that movie opened up and he saw himself look like that.
There had to be a punch in the gut, man. I mean, it had to be a punch in the gut for all of them, because that they all kind of knew what was going on. And when you're just sitting there for 2 hours, that probably felt like 5, just going, oh my God, look at how they butchered this thing. Because I mean, and then the fact that Zack wasn't there, Deborah was there, but not Zack. And it's just, it explains. So, I mean, I can only imagine, man.
So she not only did she see the film beforehand with Chris Nolan, but she went to the premiere as well.
Oh yeah, she was there at the premiere. Yeah,
and then so that's what I found most not intriguing, but that's what I found. That was information I did not know.
She also did press, I think. She also did press. I remember seeing her doing press. Those where they had the panels, and she had to toe the line. Yeah, Josh just completed the film, you know.
Yeah, sadly. But I mean, that was I mean, when it came to the Vanity Fair article, it was kind of cool to hear that. You know, she saw a screening with Chris Nolan. I don't think anybody suspected that Chris Nolan actually watched the damn thing, and he did. And I love the fact that they both just were like, he can never see this movie. Never see this movie. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. So that's a good wife, and that's a good friend right there for sure.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, we love that, especially after, you know, when last year with the whole Tenet debacle and Christopher Nolan being not playing game with the whole streaming service thing. I mean, a lot of people kind of, you know, got a little bad taste in their mouth when it came to Chris Nolan. Now they're back in the good graces a little bit because of that. So that was pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, and like I said, we were at the movie theater today, and like, you know, so for instance, ready, the movie theater that we went to today, it's gone so far where they are closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they're open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's just like, and then they're only open from 4:30 to like 10. And like, we were talking to one of the managers, and you know, he just seems like so defeated about.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. You
know, and when we were talking to him about like technical things, like, you know, audio, Dolby Atmosphere, and laser 4K, he had so much passion.
Oh, sure.
And then, you know, I brought up HBO Max, and he was just like, yeah, no. He's not having it. So he brought up the Chris Nolan thing, and he was like, you know, we need more people like Chris Nolan. Like, you know, like, not, I was like, yeah, in my head, I'm like, yeah, cause he's thrives on theatrical.
I mean, I totally get that, but at the same time, it's like, what other option is there? And even if like, if everything opens up tomorrow, and apparently, I mean, I heard earlier this week that your guys' governor, Mr. Cuomo, right? You're in Boston. Never mind. I was thinking you were in New York for some reason.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry, my bad. I know that's terrible to say. I know.
No, it's okay.
My bad.
Dave, you can do whatever you want, man.
Yeah, no, but I mean, he did. Governor Cuomo in New York said that they're thinking about opening their theaters up like in March, and hopefully that happens here. But I mean, even if that happens, there's still going to be people that aren't going to go. You know, that's the thing. It's a whole different world now. Not everybody's just going to go, oh, thank God, and just flock all the way to the movie theaters. It's not going to happen. So, I mean, pretty much the only option was what Kal-el and HBO Max and Warner Media decided was, hey, you have the option. Please go see this movie on the biggest screen possible and have a good time. Or if you don't feel like that, you can watch it at home. And I know, I mean, Paramount Plus just went buck wild today. Talking about all the shit that's coming on their streaming service, and apparently some of their big movies are going to be showing up on their streaming servers 45 days after they go in theaters. So everyone's just trying to find the best option.
Best balance.
Yeah.
And theaters are doing a lot. Like Showcase specifically are doing a lot. Like I went to the movies a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't been in a while since the second lockdown. I'm in Philly, so the theaters in Philly are closed, but the suburbs just opened up recently. And as soon as the movie was over, me and my friend were like, what's the next movie? Anything. Let's just stay here and watch the next movie. But it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock. They're like, oh, we're closing. We're like, oh, okay. Because there was like some other movie, like, let's just go see another. You know, it was so great. They're taking all the precautions they can, like any other place. I can't be worse than a Walmart or a Target, like in terms of how congested it is.
And then what was another thing about that article when it talked about Cuomo? I mean, they were talking about movie theaters are going to have a filtration system, like they're all going to be retrofitted with, they're all going to be installed with like ventilators and ventilators.
State-of-the-art ventilation in the seal in the roof, because that's what
Showcase has done that months ago too, right?
Like just do that and market that, like. You know, market that out there. Say like, hey, we got this going on right here. We got our measures, you know, and everything. We're not going to have packed theaters anymore. We'll have everybody spaced out. Just like, you know, do some marketing and promotion of all of that.
Well, and in a nutshell, that's what we're doing. That's basically what we're doing. It's getting that message out, because Jack has been to his theaters in Philly, and me and him have been to theaters around here. We know things are good in there. We know things, like you said, Dave, there's a lot of people who aren't just going to flock in right away. So this place is mostly empty. there's plenty of space for us to spread out and whatnot. So it's really not that much of a risk.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I think they're going to end up having to do is, and this screws movies that are not big budget. They're probably going to have to, like, so let's say Godzilla versus Kong comes out. Normally it'd be on 3 screens. They might have to put it on every screen to kind of make up that money. And then if you're like a low budget film or independent film, they're not going to show that because no one's going to watch it. So they might have to figure out a way, but there is a way to figure out to do, because I think people want to get out, especially here. People like are dying to just get out of the house. And we've been saying, look, if you're young, healthy, don't have any pre-existing conditions, wear a mask, sanitize, wash your hands, you'll be safe.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have utmost faith in at least the theaters around here, because I mean, that's, you know, even before this, they were always clean, right? So we've never had that issue.
Clean.
But switching gears, so we got a couple new pictures. Well, not a couple, but a few new pictures. One was Mera, our first look at Mera in the Nightmare timeline. We got Cyborg in that same setting that we got Jared Leto's Joker and Ben Affleck's Batman in, and we obviously got Ben as Batman and an interesting Joker picture.
Jesus, Joker.
A very interesting Joker picture. So what were you thinking about that? So I saw some people saying that maybe it was something that they just did artistically, or
that's what I thought.
Something that is that going to be in the film? Because
I mean, it does seem like it's an artistic thing, because it's like, unless there's going to be, because the Nightmare scene is probably going to be about 5-6 minutes. You know, it's not going to be a huge chunk of the movie. It's going to be a small portion of the movie. Maybe there's a moment where he does, like at the end of his scene, where he does put on the crown of thorns kind of thing, and just as a joke and just laughs or something. I don't know. But yeah, it almost seemed like it was more of an artistic thing, and it was probably something that, like, you know, because Snyder's very collaborative. You know, he talked about that when it came to Joe Manganiello's hair. Like when he called up Joe, he was just like, "Is there anything you want to add to it?" And Joe was like, "Well, I kind of want to have him to have this mohawk, this like war mohawk." Oh. And Snyder was like, "Done. Go ahead and do it then. If you want to make your hair into a mohawk, go ahead and do it." And of course he did. So I think it was like a combination of just like Leto going, "What about this?" And Snyder was like, "Fuck it, let's do it. You know, I don't care. You know, nobody's holding me back anymore. So let's push it." Because he even talked about how he came up with the idea of having Joker in the Nightmare world like 3 years ago, and it was always in the back of his mind. And then he was saying, like, should I call him now that he got, you know, the money to finish the movie? He's like, should I call him? And then he finally did, and Leto was just full on game for it, and so much that he wants to do more, which is great.
That's the hope, like, right? That's the hope. So after this whole thing,
if it is a scene in the movie, do you think he's mocking Superman because
It
Superman
could be.
is seen as a Christ figure? He's like, "Hey, you brought Superman back to life. Look how that worked out." Maybe something. I don't know.
It could be some kind of thing where he's mocking Batman, because you know he's going to be doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be I think it's going to be Snyder's version. Like when they come face to face, it's almost going to be Snyder's version of the interrogation scene in Dark Knight.
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to be his. We all craved like a Batfleck and a Leto Joker face to face. We almost got in Suicide Squad, but not really. And we always wanted a face to face. Now we're going to get it, but we're going to get it in this fucked up apocalyptic nightmare world as opposed to present day. So I'm so ready for that. Jeez.
Dave, you just basically ruined any hope I had for that. But now I can't get that comparison out of my head. That Ledger Bale interrogation scene, because now I'm gonna compare when I watch this, and I'm not gonna like it.
I know. I've just said it's just going to be Snyder's version. I know there's some people that might compare it, and the interrogation scene in Dark Knight, that's just top tier.
It's so goddamn good.
Yeah, so good. So I know I probably just I raised the bar a little too much for Snyder. Sorry, Snyder, for watching. No, but
if it's only Jody and Big Drip criticizing, we're doing something right.
Yeah,
right.
Well, since you mentioned Chris Nolan, how involved do you think he is with this? Because we know he was a producer.
That is a good question. I would actually want to know.
I'm curious.
I want to know more now. If I get to talk to Snyder again, I get to interview him again, I'm actually going to ask him how frequently he does talk to him, because, I mean, that was something that just didn't come to my mind the first time I talked to him. I asked him what was the phone call like when Christopher Nolan like called him up to do Man of Steel, because, you know, Warner Brothers wanted Nolan to do what he did with Dark Knight to Superman, and Nolan was like, I can't do it, but I know this one guy that did that Watchmen movie that I really love, that I think he could do it for you. And so I kind of wonder like how frequently Snyder talks to Nolan. And, you know, after the Vanity Fair article and the fact that Nolan, you know, saw a screening of it, it almost seems like, okay, maybe they talk a little bit more. He's a little more involved than I thought he was. I mean, obviously he's an executive producer, and sometimes they don't have to do a set visit or nothing. I mean, but I mean, the fact that he actually, I mean, usually executive producer. I mean, Snyder is pretty much he's an executive producer on everything, like, because he built the foundation for the characters. So.
Right.
And a lot of times we forget Nolan wrote the story. He came up with, he didn't write the screenplay, but he wrote the story for Man of Steel. That was a Nolan idea. We forget that a lot of times.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Joker. I'm happy that whatever, like in some, I don't know, apocalyptic tattoo removal that he got. Super excited about that. You know, hey, laser tattoo removal happens. It's always needed. So I'm happy about that. I just like the way he looks. He looks very creepy. And, you know, that's what I always wanted from Jared Leto, because he had that in him the whole time. And I'm excited that it's going to be unleashed. You know, there's always going to be the haters.
Of course.
So they announced mostly an international on March 18th. Like most of everybody is going to be able to see this movie, which is very good. I know some places are hinging maybe a theatrical in like China, France, Japan, and India. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't India. It was China, France, and Japan.
Okay.
I think.
Maybe I just made up India and I just threw it in with them.
Earlier today, you said possibly India.
Did I say possibly India?
Yeah, I think India might be good. I think he really fought for India because, man, he's got a huge fan base in India.
Yep.
I think I might have made up India. I don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely have done it before. So, just kidding.
So total huge fan base. I mean, I have a lot of people that follow me, man. There's a lot. I have a lot of India fans too, man. Yeah. And I mean, it's when I look at the analytics, it's like USA, Canada, and then India right underneath.
Wow, that's awesome.
I mean, I have family in Pakistan. I don't think they're going to be able to get it in Pakistan without Jack Sparrowing it. Unfortunately, it really has to do with Wonder Woman's outfit. I mean, it sounds silly, but really, like, my cousin was able to see Wonder Woman 1984 unless he did that. I'm like, why'd you do that? I was like, they're not going to show that in theaters or anywhere over here because she's wearing an outfit. And
it's 2021. Come on,
not over there.
Not over there.
I know, over there. That's why I'm just saying. I'm like, some places, man. Some places, like, really, it's 2021. Still, you have like these kind of rules, that kind of stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
That's religious say so in the government. Wow. You know, that's when religious and state isn't separated. That's what happens.
That's what's great. I mean,
and it's funny was my dad says it wasn't like that 30 years ago. He said you could watch the Wonder Woman show, the Linda Carter one. Then they wouldn't have it on now because she's wearing kind of like a bathing suit almost.
Yeah.
Things get worse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that's not for us to decide, I suppose.
Yeah.
But overall, you know, I love what you've been doing lately, Dave. I really do. I know me personally, I love coming on the Vodka stream and hanging out, and I love that you've been getting guys, you know, like Fabian on, and you've had Zach on a couple times, and you know, what's your most anticipated thing from on March 18th? Like, what's your most anticipated plot liner or character? Maybe who do you want to see? Batman.
Just how he's dealing, how his character's dealing with the with Superman dead and dealing with it because I mean he almost killed Superman himself, and then you know of course realized what the fuck am I doing, and then just kind of dealing with that, just having that on his conscience and putting this team together, being the only human in this world of like gods and parademons, and then you got these metahumans that, you know, they could take a blast from, you know, they could take a kick to the head, they could fall down and get right back up. He can. And he's not to mention he's, you know, he's pushing 50. He's also like, he's up there. And so I'm always just curious about like where Batman goes with all of this.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember. I mean, so are you, you're interested in Spider-Man as well, right?
Yeah. I'm a Spider-Man.
So these I mean, really quick, I think we got like 8 minutes left. Let's call it 8 minutes.
Actually, I got 5.
5 minutes left. Just kidding. I overshot there.
Yeah.
So would you want to see like a live action Into the Spider-Verse?
Oh yeah.
Like the rumors of like Toby, Andrew, and Tom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as what? So who do we know is in it right now? Electro.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx. Who else?
Is Alfred is Doc Ock like confirmed?
Yeah.
I feel like he's not.
Maybe he isn't.
Is supposed to be in it, and then there was rumors that Willem Dafoe might be in it, which I thought, okay, now it's getting overkill. That's getting overkill.
Yeah.
You know, if you ask me, right, I think the 3 Peters should be in the movie because I think off of each other really well. But as far as the villains go, you're stepping in dangerous territory with making this movie awful. You know what I mean?
Well, and the reason I bring it up is because we're about to wrap up WandaVision.
Yeah.
And supposedly, right? It's weird because like I don't see the WandaVision story being able to wrap up in the time that we have left. So I think it might carry over into what they say is Doctor Strange 2 and then Spider-Man. So I'm interested to see, like, do you guys think Mephisto might, or whoever the villain of WandaVision is, might kind of go into the future projects of the MCU?
Oh, I definitely do. Yeah.
As we've seen, you guys have all seen WandaVision episode 7, right?
Yeah,
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
So Agatha is definitely not a main villain, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Right. So
and everybody saw that coming too. I mean, that's why there are people like that was underwhelming. It's like, yeah, but it's because we just saw it coming. But it's like, you know, they're not all gonna be like, you know, not every episode's gonna end where you're like, oh my god, we're gonna get like a crazy. I don't know. I guess the last episode's gonna be fucking nuts. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. And I really do hope so. And I am actually one of the ones that did say it was underwhelming.
Oh yeah.
Simply because, like, for non-fans, they were like, well, who's Agatha? And for fans who already knew she was Agatha and she was probably, you know, had her hands in this, it wasn't a surprise. So it really didn't seem like a win for anybody. And that's why I was like, it might have been underwhelming. But, you know, WandaVision's done a good job of being a bad narrator. Like, they had everyone trending Richard Reed's, right? Or Reed Richards, sorry. I've said it backwards. Yeah. But they're even tricking you in real life. So I think that when you step back, you're like, oh, actually the show's doing a pretty good job of being like the exact thing it wants to be. It just wants to be unreliable, and you don't know what you're seeing, if it's real or not. So I think I like where it's going. It's
a mind fuck. That's it. That's what their goal is with this show, is to make us very confused and make us have conversations like we're having right now, just for them to flip it on our head and be like, nah, that's not even, you weren't even close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that because of the finale, the last 5 minutes of The Mandalorian, everyone's expectations are so high that they want their mind blown again. They want that high again because it's Disney Plus, and I think they're hoping, like, who's going to show up, you know? And maybe they're, you know, I just say enjoy the ride. Sometimes when you overthink something and predict every possible thing that could happen, you take the fun out of something. I think so.
Yeah,
so
I think Star Wars fans do that the most.
Yeah.
They're always like, you know, that's why they just like hate, like they hate the new trilogy, and they hate like everything that's new almost. I mean, even when it came to The Mandalorian, I mean, I think halfway through, I'm like, it's Luke. It's got to be Luke. I mean, how is it not now? I mean, it was just building up, and then you saw the X-Wing. I'm like, there it is. Yeah, awesome. It's still awesome for me. It didn't take I still really enjoyed that ending. So, But I got to get going, guys, because I got my show to do in about.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely stop by, Dave. I just want to say I say thank you,
No problem.
and you're always welcome over. And I'll see you next time. Next time on the Vodka stream when there's a slot open, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Dave, have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us. Till next time, my friend.
All right. See you later.
Pleasure to meet you.
All right, let me change the background.
Well, that was Dave Pena, people. I mean, I'm sure you guys already know who he is, but it's always nice having him around.
No idea who Dave is. Who's Dave?
Well, you do now.
But yeah, so fun times. Quick dip was definitely quick. I just changed the background again. My bad. Oh, look at me. Definitely a quick dip, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. So our next show is Saturday. What time are we doing the show Saturday? With the Warner Brothers guy.
I have no idea.
That's a good question. We decided a long time ago. Holy crap.
Yeah, we
I
did.
should probably message him. I don't know if he remembers.
Okay.
We set that up a while. We think we set that up in January, didn't we?
Yeah, this has been a long
time.
It's been some time.
Yeah,
I'll message him as a reminder.
Yeah, I'll let everyone know what time it's going to be at. So join us Saturday live for Warner Brothers employee. This will be the last episode in the month-long February guest spot.
That's right.
It's going to be a good time. We did just open up our Patreon program. Get access to all the exclusive that the pop culture has to offer. Shout out to Caden Reed, Nick DePalma, and Odd for being the first 3.
6 p.m.
All right, guys.
I got it. 6 p.m. That's what we're aiming for. But if that changes, if Marcel changes, but 6 p.m. is what on the Saturday is what we're aiming for with him.
All right.
If anything changes, we'll let you guys know. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been another edition of Quick Dip. You know how we do around here. Peace.
Make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell.
Ding.